What up, YouTube? How's it going? It's me, Drew Manning from Fit to Fat to Fit, and this is officially my first YouTube Live. And so we're going to get started nice and slow because I don't know how this works versus Facebook Live, which I've done a ton of Facebook Lives. But YouTube Live, if you guys are joining me live, say what's up in the comments or give me some thumbs up. Let me know who's here. I would love to see who's here. And if you can hear me okay, let's make sure the audio is good. Because like I said, this is my first YouTube Live. And so we're just going to get started nice and slow. So I think you guys can hear me okay. I see some thumbs up happening. And a few of you are joining me. So if you guys are on, feel free to ask any questions before we get started. Let me know where you're from, give you a quick little shout out, and then we'll get started. But if any of you watched the games today, how about those games, right? I actually picked the Patriots and the Rams to be in the Super Bowl. And so now the Patriots and the Rams are playing the Super Bowl. So it's a pretty amazing day. Two amazing games. I tell you what, that's what football is all about. I love seeing, overtime games. I wish the NFL would change the overtime rules, but I wish they would switch to college overtime rules, but I don't know. We'll see if they do that. Let me do this. Okay, now I can see you. I can see your guys' comments. What's up, the Meso Peaks? How are you? Eileen Franklin. Let's see. We got, from the Philippines. Well, welcome. I don't speak Tagalog, but I wish I did. You're currently studying keto carefully before you dive into it. That's very, very smart. Does the keto diet increase your cholesterol level for eating so much eggs and fat? Great question. I'll get into all that in a second. You had a cheat day today after 30 days of being keto. What should I do tomorrow? Great question, Josh Cortez. I'll get to all those questions, you guys. Yeah, those are some really good questions. We'll get to those. And just so you guys know, this is wine right here, but this is keto wine. Yes, keto wine does exist, y'all. And so this is keto wine that I'm drinking. And I don't drink wine a lot. I don't drink alcohol a ton. Every once in a while. So really quickly, Nam Q Yang, it can increase your cholesterol levels, your LDL, which is considered your bad cholesterol. But there's a good book called Cholesterol Clarity that I'd recommend reading to understand how cholesterol works in the body, because the LDL and HDL is not the end all be all when it comes to our health. A lot of people think if your LDL goes up, you're going to have a heart attack. Well, that's not true. You need to look into the science a little bit more. So what you should be looking at is not just your LDL going up, but is your HDL going up as well? And if so, that's a good thing. That's your good cholesterol. And is your triglycerides going down? And if so, then that means you're trending in the right direction. So don't worry too much about just your LDL number or your total cholesterol. Look at what the HDL to triglyceride ratio is, and that is a lot more important. And then also look at your LDL particle sizes, not so much just your LDL number, your particle sizes. That's a lot more telling based off of newer science of whether or not you're going to have a heart attack. So don't just base it off of that. Daniela, love you too, and thank you for joining me from New York. And yes, I will be doing more YouTube Lives because I think I remember that name. You're usually on my Facebook Lives. Kuratika Shetty, your message was retracted. I'm not sure what that means. Was that Peggy Hall? How are you guys doing tonight? So like I said, this is my first YouTube Live. So really quickly, if you guys don't know who I am, obviously you should know who I am if you've been following me for a while, the Fit to Fat to Fit guy. Just to reintroduce who I am, what I did. So back in 2011, I did my Fit to Fat to Fit journey, which is me putting on 75 pounds on purpose. And I'll show you guys a picture really quick. So Fit to Fat to Fit happened back in 2011 through 2012, where I gained 75 pounds in 6 months. And then I lost it again in 6 months. Let me see if I can find a picture for you guys, because it's pretty scary. Let's see if you guys can see this right here. So that's me in the beginning. And then that's me week 14. That's me at my heaviest right there. That's legit. And then obviously I got back to fit again. So that's Fit to Fat to Fit in a nutshell. And yeah, it's a crazy journey, but I learned so much from it. But that's where my brand really started back in 2011. And then from there, the story went viral. The book happened. And then the book got turned into a TV show where I had 2 seasons of a hit TV show called Fit Fed Fit. And that took off. And then I got into the keto world, which we'll get into keto in just a second. And what happened with the keto diet was I did it as an experiment to see how it would affect me. I remember listening to a podcast with Dr. Dominic D'Agostino and Tim Ferriss and learning about the science behind the ketogenic diet. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to give this diet a try because it sounds like it's so much more than just a diet. And so for me, I wanted to do some experimenting with it. So I did. I fell in love with it. It was nutrition for my brain. My mental clarity was like night and day compared to before. It was through the roof. My cognitive function was so much better. My focus, my energy for my brain was so much better. And so for me, I loved it. And then I had the opportunity to go on the Dr. Oz show to talk about the ketogenic diet and teach people about what it is. And then from there, keto has exploded in popularity. It was the most Googled diet in 2017, the most Googled diet in 2018, and it's trending that way in 2019 as well. So it's a really, really popular diet. And so we're going to go over the basics today, but if you guys have questions, please feel free to ask them in the comments. Okay. Let's see. You wish to get 6-pack abs. Okay. 6-pack abs. We all have, the muscles underneath the layer of fat, but the biggest thing to get to see your 6-pack abs is to reduce body fat. So I wish I could tell you that it's just one exercise you have to do, but it's a whole lifestyle change. It's a whole mindset change. I could give you the meal plans. I could give you the tools to get a 6-pack, but it's more so your mindset than anything else. And so I wish I could tell you exactly what to do. The keto diet is a great way to burn body fat. That's for sure if you do it right. And obviously just exercising every single day, but also stress management, balancing out your hormones, sleep, quality of sleep is really, really important, by the way. And so I wish there was an easy answer to just getting a 6-pack abs. Let's see. If I'm not strict keto and mess up, how does all this fat I eat affect me? Great question. And let me get back to this question, Josh Cortez. So I had a cheat day today after 30 days of being keto. What should I do tomorrow? Depends if you want to stay in keto, Josh. If you want to go back to keto, the quickest way to get back into ketosis is to do a high intensity interval training workout for maybe 20 minutes and then fast for 24 hours. And you'll be back in ketosis in no time. And that's the quickest way to get back into keto if that's what you want to do. If you want to stay eating carbs, that's totally fine as well, but that's a personal decision. Let's see. If I'm not strict keto and mess up, how does all this fat I eat affect me? It depends. If you're eating high fat, high carb, then that's where it could be bad for your health. And that's what the older studies that were high fat studies based on when they would say, hey, stay away from fat. Fat's bad for you. Is people would eat these high fat diets, but they didn't factor in how many carbs they were eating. And there's a lot of those studies were high carb as well. So you're eating the burger with the fries, with the bun and the soda and pizza and donuts, these high fat foods, but they're also high in carbohydrates. That's where it can cause some damage. So if you're just eating half-ass keto and you're eating, a ton of carbohydrates with it, that's probably not the best thing for your health, just FYI. So that's why you're either in ketosis or you're not. So I would recommend, choosing which fuel source you want for your body, sugar or fat. What's the best carbs pre-workout so you get more energy in your workouts? Great question, but it just depends. Like if you're doing keto, I need more details on that one. You're in ketosis, by the way. If you're doing targeted ketogenic diet, the targeted ketogenic diet is where you add in maybe 10 to 20 grams of carbohydrates pre-workout. It can be anything, it can be something quick acting like maltodextrin, some type of fast acting sugar that gets converted to energy really quickly in the body. Or you could do something like potatoes, sweet potatoes, rice, berries, fruit, things like that, which are more of a healthier source of carb, but it just depends. So yes, meso peaks, carbs plus fat equals fat storage. All right, so here's the thing with the ketogenic diet, you guys. If you have questions about the keto diet, I'm going to go over the basics today, but feel free to keep asking your questions and let me know how I can help you. So here's the thing with the keto diet. For me, like I said, the thing that converted me was nutrition for my brain. My body fat really didn't go down. My body fat stayed around the same because I was already lean to begin with. But the improvement in mental clarity was the biggest thing. And so after studying the keto diet, what I realized that, keto is just basically a natural metabolic state that your body can enter into when there's no glucose available. So that if you stopped eating today, you wouldn't die. You could actually live a long period of time without any food, even though a lot of us think that we'll die if we go 24 hours without eating anything because we get hangry. In our society, our culture, our generation has had access to food pretty much on demand. Whenever you want it, you can get access to food for the most part, right? Especially if you grew up here in a first world country, most people here have access to food whenever you want it, right? But, 100, 200, 300 years ago, it wasn't like that. We had to hunt for our food. We had to find food for ourselves. And so sometimes you had to go a day to a week without food. And if we didn't have something like ketosis as a backup system, we would all be dead. Our species would never have survived without something called ketosis. The keto diet, just in a basic sense, mimics fasting. So like I said, the quickest way to get into ketosis is to fast. Stop eating food, and I promise all of you will be in ketosis, right? But that's not always fun for people. People, love to eat food. And so the other way to hack that is to eat a ketogenic diet, which is a high-fat, moderate protein, low-carb diet. Generally, I tell people, and this doesn't work for everybody, but it works for a lot of people, 70% of your calories should come from fat, 25% from protein, 5% from carbohydrates. Now, that's just a general statement. That doesn't work for everybody, but for a lot of people, it will work. And so that's a way to hack, mimic fasting, is eat a ketogenic diet, which is high fat, moderate protein, low carb. And so that's the next way to get into ketosis. And so you're shifting from being a sugar burner to a fat burner. So your whole life, probably you've been running off of sugar and glucose as your main source of fuel. But, now that you limit glucose, you cut out all the carbohydrates, your body is forced to produce ketones as an alternative fuel source. And how that works in the body is your body will take fatty acids, right, and convert them into ketones through the liver. And those ketones are an alternative fuel source to glucose. And ketones versus glucose, the difference between those two is glucose is a very fast burning energy source, right? Your body will burn through glucose really, really quickly. Think of it as if you put paper or lighter fluid on a fire, the fire is going to get really big in flames really quickly, but then shortly it's going to return back to its normal size. Ketones are kind of like the coal or the logs of the fire, and they stay lit for a long period of time, right? So ketones are very efficient source of energy for our brain, our muscles, our organs, and it's a very slow burning energy source. And so that's why on the keto diet, you can go a long period of time without food and feel optimal. Your brain is sharp. Your digestion is better because you're giving your digestive system a break from eating 6-7 times a day. And so there's so many other benefits to the ketogenic diet as well. Yes, you can burn fat. Yes, you can lose weight on the ketogenic diet, but there's so much more to it than that. And there's so many other therapeutic applications. The keto diet has actually been around since the 1920s when it was first discovered in helping children with epilepsy, right? These children were drug resistant to the medicine that they were taking. And so for whatever reason, keto was the only thing that helped control their seizures. And so that's where it was first discovered. So it's not like this is a fad diet that just came around recently. It's been around for a long period of time, but it's been around maybe 20 plus years in the bodybuilding industry where people understood, hey, cutting out carbohydrates leaves you, lean and, less fat on your body. And so, but it really wasn't mainstream until just a few years ago. And so that's why people think it's a fad. It's not a fad. It's been around. It's saving people's lives, not just helping people lose weight, but people with epilepsy and seizures and Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and PTSD and traumatic brain injury and brain toxicity, inflammation in the body, all different types of therapeutic applications that the ketogenic diet has helped so many people save their lives. That's why, there's so many haters on the ketogenic diet because it sounds like another, Atkins diet, repurposed, but it's so much more than that. So Peggy Hall, yes, that's why no one was fat back in the day because they ate a lot of healthy fats, and fats are very satiating, right? We didn't have access to Pop-Tarts and Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Mountain Dew, 100, 200 years ago. So anyways, let's see, question. So I got caught off. I don't feel like I have extra energy. Thoughts? You don't feel like you have extra energy. It just depends. Like maybe your electrolytes are imbalanced. I don't know. I need more details. Is it normal to have stomach pains in the afternoon? Just pain, nothing else. If you're doing keto, Holly's Bill of Rights coffee. I don't know any more context. Josh Cortez, last question, I promise. How do you determine sugar alcohol? Should I subtract it all or some of it? That's a good question. The only sugar alcohols that I use or trust would be erythritol and monk fruit, which technically isn't a sugar alcohol, but erythritol, and that's pretty much it. Sugar alcohols, you just got to be careful. Some of them will mess up your stomach, and I try to avoid them if possible, but sometimes in a dessert or something sweet that's keto friendly, it's okay every once in a while, but you can't subtract it from your total carbohydrates, because erythritol, for example, shouldn't impact your blood ketone levels. So let's see, how many vegetables can you eat? It just depends on the types of vegetables, right? Non-starchy, nutrient-dense vegetables, you can pretty much eat, a lot of broccoli, cauliflower, spinach, kale, Brussels sprouts, those kinds of things. Yeah, they have carbohydrates in them, but I wouldn't worry too much about overeating vegetables. Feel free to eat as many vegetables as you until you feel full. Too much broccoli, 30 grams of broccoli probably won't knock you out of ketosis, and that's a lot of, it's large quantity. So let's see. Okay, you're doing clean keto, Holly's Bill of Rights coffee. I don't know what kind of stomach pains you're getting. It could be ulcer related. There could be all kinds of things. I'm not a doctor. I can't really diagnose the situation, but look at what you're eating, change up what you're eating, make a food journal of the foods you're eating. And then maybe it's something like MCT oil or coconut oil. Maybe it's the dairy that you're eating. I don't know, all the foods that you're eating. So hopefully that helps out. But here's the thing with the keto diet, you guys. I'm going to be totally honest with you, because I don't want to have this drag on forever. I'm going to start doing a lot more YouTube lives, by the way. So anyways, the thing with the keto diet is I don't think it's for everybody. I'm a big proponent of the ketogenic diet, but I feel like it's at least worth a try for most people. Most people will see some type of benefit if they allow themselves to get adapted, right? But that could take 30, 60, 90 days for some people. And some people don't have that type of patience, right? There's a transitionary period, and people, if it's working for you, then why fix something? So unless something's broken, people might not want to jump on the ketogenic diet. And so I think that it's at least worth a try. And a try doesn't mean a few days. I think it's at least worth a minimum 30 days of consistent effort to see how it's working out for you. So that's my opinion on the ketogenic diet. Is I'm not some zealot or preacher that's saying that this is the religion that everybody has to convert to. I think that it can benefit so many people. And if you allow yourself to get adapted, then maybe you become your own self-experimentation to see if it's right for you. Holly's Bill of Rights coffee. Try. I have my own MCT oil powder from Complete Wellness, which is my brand of supplements. Try MCT oil powder and see if that helps out. I know for me, switching from oil to powder was easier on the stomach. And so that's why we formulated a MCT oil powder that's flavored vanilla, chocolate caramel sea salt, chocolate mint, and chocolate macadamia. You add it to your coffee. It's delicious, and it's easier on the stomach. The steak and eggs diet, it's basically somewhat of a keto diet. Yeah, it would be technically a keto diet. It's going to be, it's just steak and eggs. It's very similar to probably a carnivore approach, but instead of straight carnivore, you're adding in eggs. There are some benefits to those types of diets. I just think, here's the thing. I think we are omnivores as human beings. We can eat, straight up meat, or we can eat straight up plants and be, and survive, right? What's optimal? It's different for each person. It really is. I wish I could say, no, this is the only way to do it, but different things work for different people. And our bodies are amazing machines. They can adapt to different environments. And so some people adapt really well to a carnivore approach, and some people adapt really well to a plant-based approach. And who am I to say, hey, that's not optimal for you? If they're looking better, they're feeling better, they're a great body composition, their blood work looks good, and they feel amazing. But here's the thing, what I've learned is that what might work for you today might not work for you a year from now or 2 years from now. Or what worked for you, yesterday, might not work for you today. And so be open to tweaking things and experimenting with new things to find out what's optimal for you. That's the biggest thing with any diet, or any person that's going to tell you which is the best diet for me, is, do some experimenting with it and find out what is optimal for you. My goal is to empower you to become your own self-experimentation so that you know whether or not keto is right for you. Let's see, more questions. I'm fasting from 9 p.m. to 1 p.m. the next day, but when I get empty, I get sick. What can I do different? Peggy Hall, try adding in salt. Try Redmond's real salt. It has all the trace minerals still intact. It's the healthiest salt for you out there. Redmond real salt, and see if that makes a difference. Adding in salt to your diet, even when you're fasting, or maybe try exogenous ketones, BHBs, which is puts you in a simulated version of ketosis. See if that helps out. Let's see. You guys are awesome. This is my first YouTube live, you guys, and I have had a blast. So, but I don't want this one to go on too long, so I'm going to be doing more of these. So stay tuned. A lot more good things to come now that I figured out how to do this on YouTube. It's going to be exciting times, you guys. So stay tuned. A lot more cool things coming your way, and a lot of cool announcements as well coming up. So I appreciate you guys. You guys are amazing. Keep moving forward in life, and we will talk soon. Okay. Have a good night.